All right. So you wanted the scoop on DeepSeek, right? This Chinese AI company that's been kind of shaking things up lately.
Yeah.
And we've got a whole bunch of stuff here.
Yeah, looks like it.
News articles, research paper.
Oh, wow. Even a Wikipedia entry?
Yes.
You've really been digging.
I've been doing my homework.
I like it.
We're going deep.
Deep dive.
It's a deep dive. That's what we do.
That's right.
And it seems like we've got like a Sputnik moment kind of brewing here in the AI world.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
So
What's got you thinking that way?
Well, DeepSeek is, they're topping the charts.
Oh, really?
DeepSeek's AI model, DeepSeek R1.
Okay.
It's dominating app downloads.
Wow.
Yeah. And some U.S. tech giants are definitely looking over their shoulders.
I bet. That's got to be unnerving.
Yeah. I mean, we've even got reports here from...
Let me guess, like the New York Times and Wired.
Actually, from sources like the Hindustan Times.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Al Jazeera and News 9 Live.
Wow. So this is global. This is a global phenomenon.
It is global.
Wow.
And they're impacting the stock market, too.
I can imagine. So what is it about DeepSeek that's got everyone so riled up?
Well, for one, they're doing it all on a shoestring budget.
Oh, really?
Yeah, their V3 model.
Okay.
It was reportedly trained for under $6 million.
Seriously? $6 million? That's like nothing in the AI world.
It's pennies compared to what some companies are spending.
I mean, companies like Meta are pouring billions into their AI projects.
Billions, yeah.
6 million is a rounding error for them.
Yeah, one article even said that DeepSeek's V3 model is like 20 to 50 times
Wow.
more affordable than OpenAI's O1 model.
Okay, so they're seriously undercutting the competition.
Yeah, big time.
That's a game changer.
It is a game changer.
It really challenges the assumption that you need to be a tech giant with deep pockets to make any headway in AI.
And here's the real kicker.
Okay, hit me.
Their models,
Yeah.
they're open source.
What? No way.
Yeah.
So anyone can just download the code,
Anyone.
tinker with it, use it commercially.
Play around with it, use it commercially, and no strings attached.
That's unheard of. I mean, why would they do that? What's the advantage there?
Well, I mean, going open source, it's a pretty strategic move.
Yeah, I mean, it's brilliant, but it's risky.
It is risky.
So they're basically tapping into this global network of developers and researchers.
Exactly. They're inviting the world to collaborate.
Fostering innovation.
Yeah, and it puts pressure on their competitors, too.
Especially those in the U.S.
To be more transparent.
Yeah, to be more open with their own developments.
Right.
So it's not just about the technology itself, it's about how they're choosing to share it.
It's a whole different philosophy.
Yeah.
So how does DeepSeek stack up in terms of performance?
Right, because being affordable is great,
Yeah.
but the tech needs to deliver.
Exactly.
So can they actually compete with the big players?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting.
Okay, I'm listening.
Their models are going head-to-head with giants like ChatGPT. Oh, wow, okay.
In performance benchmarks. And get this, in some cases, they're even coming out on top.
No way. They're beating ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are they particularly good at? What are their strengths?
Well, they excel in areas that require, like, logical thinking, math coding, that kind of thing.
Okay, so the more analytical stuff.
Right, and there was this analysis comparing DeepSeek R1 to another Chinese model, Kimi k1.5.
Okay.
Kimi struggled with like a simple game of snakes and ladders.
Oh, really?
Right.
Couldn't even keep the pieces on the board.
Yeah.
But DeepSeek played it flawlessly.
Flawlessly.
Wow, okay, so they're strong on the reasoning side.
But it's not just benchmarks, right?
Right.
Real world applications are what really matters.
Absolutely. So what are they doing in the real world?
Well, their chatbot app,
Okay.
it's climbed to the top of the App Store charts.
Wow, surpassing ChatGPT.
Yeah. Seems like DeepSeek came out of nowhere.
They've really disrupted the market.
Yeah, and investors are paying attention.
I bet. Any big names feeling the heat? NVIDIA, the chip-making giant,
Okay.
their stock has taken a hit.
How bad are we talking?
Almost $600 billion.
$600 billion. That's massive.
In market value since DeepSeek entered the scene.
Ouch. So investors are definitely seeing DeepSeek as a threat.
Yeah, a legitimate threat.
So who is this mastermind behind DeepSeek? What's their background?
Well, the founder, Liang Wenfeng, he's an interesting guy.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
He doesn't come from like a traditional tech background.
Oh, really? So where did he come from?
Finance.
Finance.
Interesting. Yeah, he ran a quantitative hedge fund called Highflyer.
So he was already using AI in the world of finance.
It seems so, yeah. Reports suggest he was leveraging AI in his hedge fund back in 2019.
Wow, so way before ChatGPT.
Yeah, long before ChatGPT came into the picture.
So his experience in finance, where data and prediction are key, that kind of laid the foundation for DeepSeek.
That's what it looks like.
That's fascinating. It's like he saw the potential of AI early on.
So what's their strategy now? Are they looking to cash in?
That's the surprising part.
Okay.
DeepSeek seems to be entirely focused on research right now.
Really?
Yeah, they haven't announced any concrete plans for commercialization.
That's a curious approach.
It is, especially in the fast-paced tech world. The companies usually want to capitalize on their achievements right away.
Right.
But DeepSeek's playing it differently.
It's like they're playing the long game.
Exactly. Hashtag TTS, the Deep Dive episode 2025-01-28, part 2 of 3. It's definitely a unique approach.
Yeah.
Some people are saying it might be a way to kind of sidestep China's AI regulations.
Oh, interesting.
Those strict rules about consumer-facing technologies.
Right.
By sticking to research, they have more freedom for now.
Makes sense. So they're laying low, Building up their expertise.
Exactly.
Waiting for the right moment.
Maybe.
To unleash their full potential.
Could be.
Okay, let's talk about the models themselves.
All right, let's dive in.
They've got quite a lineup.
They do.
Each with its own strengths and quirks.
Yeah, their first big language model was DeepSeek Coder.
DeepSeek.
Yeah, they released it in late 2023.
Okay.
Even back then, you could tell they were onto something special.
So what was so special about it?
Well, it was specifically designed for coding tasks.
Okay.
And it came in two versions, base and instruct.
Base and instructs. What's the difference?
The base models were trained on a massive data set of code.
Okay.
Code-related text.
All right.
Giving them a really deep understanding of programming languages and concepts.
Like building a foundation.
Exactly. A solid foundation in the language of computers.
Okay. And the instruct models.
They took it a step further.
Huh.
They were fine-tuned to follow instructions.
Interesting.
So they were even more powerful tools for developers.
So like you could say, write a Python function to sort a list of numbers.
Yeah, exactly. And it would generate working code right there in front of you.
Wow, that's efficient.
Super efficient.
It sounds like they were ahead of the curve with that approach.
Oh, absolutely. And what's really impressive is that even those early models like DeepSeek Coder, they were already super efficient.
Wow.
Yeah, they managed to train them with less data and less computing power than a lot of their competitors.
So efficiency has been like a core principle for them from the beginning.
It's in their DNA.
It's like they've cracked the code for doing more with less.
Exactly. And then towards the end of 2023, they unveiled DeepSeek LLM.
DeepSeek LLM.
Their first general-purpose language model.
Okay.
This was their arrival on the global stage.
So they were ready to compete with the big boys?
OpenAI, Google, the whole lot.
Oh.
They even introduced a chat version of the model specifically for conversational AI.
Okay, so that paved the way for the chatbot app.
Exactly, the one that's taken the world by storm right now.
It's interesting how they focused on specific skills, first like coding and then branched out.
A smart strategy.
They even released DeepSeek Math around the same time.
Right, specifically designed for mathematical reasoning.
It's like they were putting together a toolkit of specialized AI models.
Methodically building up their arsenal.
And it paid off.
Big time. By focusing on those specific areas, they could really refine their techniques. Develop models that excelled in their respective domains.
And then use that expertise to build more powerful general-purpose models.
Exactly like DeepSeek V2.
Ah, V2. That's when things started getting really interesting.
Right.
Didn't they introduce a whole new architecture with that model?
They did. DeepSeek V2 was a major leap forward. They incorporated a novel architecture called Mixture of Experts.
Mixture of Experts.
Or MOE for short.
Mo, okay.
Think of it like having different departments within a company, each specialized in handling a particular task.
Interesting.
This allowed the model to be much more efficient,
Okay.
using different parts of its brain for different tasks.
So instead of trying to be a jack of all trades, it was more like a team of specialists.
Exactly. A team of experts working together.
I like that analogy.
And they didn't stop there. They also integrated a technique called yarn
Yarn.
to extend the model's context length.
Context length. What does that mean?
It means the model could process much larger chunks of text at once.
Okay.
So we could understand more complex ideas and relationships.
So V2 had a bigger brain and a longer attention span.
You got it.
No wonder people started taking notice.
DeepSeek V2 was a game changer. It surpassed the performance of a lot of existing models.
While still being more cost-effective.
Way more cost-effective.
This is when investors really started to get nervous.
Yeah, the market was starting to feel the heat.
And V2 also had a unique training process, right?
Yeah, they used a two-stage approach.
Okay.
Focusing on specific skills first, and then broadening its capabilities.
So like what kind of skills?
They initially trained it on tasks like math and coding,
Okay.
honing its analytical abilities, and then they shifted to more general conversational skills.
It's like they were giving the model a rigorous education.
Right, building a strong foundation in logic and reasoning first.
And then moving on to more nuanced communication.
Exactly, a very deliberate approach.
Fascinating. So then came V3,
V3, the big one.
their most powerful model to date.
They went all out on this one.
What did they do differently?
Well, they trained it on a truly massive data set of text and code,
Okay.
with a big emphasis on mathematical and programming content.
V3 sounds like a beast.
It was. And they developed custom low-level optimizations to squeeze every ounce of performance out of their hardware.
So they were getting really technical.
Oh yeah, they even employed mixed precision arithmetic to speed up calculations.
Mixed precision arithmetic.
Yeah, using unusual 8-bit and 12-bit floating point numbers.
8-bit and 12-bit. That's not typical for these kinds of calculations.
Not at all. It was a bold move.
But it worked.
It did. They also pushed the boundaries of context length even further with V3.
How far did they go?
They extended it to a remarkable 128,000 tokens.
128,000 tokens. Try to wrap your head around that.
It's like being able to read and understand a small novel in a single glance.
That's mind-boggling.
And this time, they weren't just focused on English and Chinese.
Okay.
They trained the model on a multilingual corpus.
So they were thinking globally.
Global domination.
And the results.
Phenomenal. DeepSeek V3 achieved state-of-the-art performance across a bunch of different benchmarks.
So they were beating everyone.
Pretty much even some of the most advanced models from OpenAI and Google.
Wow. They were really on a roll. But they didn't stop there, did they?
Nope. They also developed a specialized reasoning engine called R1.
R1.
This one's really interesting.
Okay, tell me more.
It was designed to be amazing at tasks that require logical inference,
Okay.
mathematical problem solving, and real-time decision-making.
So this is the model that really put them on the map.
R1 was a statement.
It made people realize that China was a serious contender in the AI game.
It even matched or surpassed OpenAI's O1 model on some benchmarks.
Like the American Invitational Mathematics Examination.
That's right.
And they did all of this while remaining incredibly cost-effective.
Always keeping an eye on the bottom line.
Their V3 model cost less than $6 million to train.
While others are spending billions.
It's amazing what they've been able to accomplish.
Truly remarkable. But it wasn't all smooth sailing, though.
What do you mean?
Remember that thing with R1 and the simple game?
Oh, yeah. What was that all about?
So DeepSeek R1, it was incredible at logic and math.
Right.
But it struggled with a simple game of snakes and ladders.
Really? Snakes and ladders?
Yeah, it couldn't quite grasp the concept of keeping the pieces on the board.
That's so strange. An AI that can solve complex equations but can't handle a children's game.
It just goes to show that AI development is still in its early stages.
Yeah, we've come a long way, but there's still so much to learn.
AI models are still learning and evolving.
It's what makes this field so exciting. Hashtag TTS, the Deep Dive episode 2025, A128, part 3 of 3.
It really is. It's a constant exploration.
So let's talk about the bigger picture here.
Okay.
DeepSeek's rise has definitely shaken things up.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What does this mean for the future of AI?
Well, I think DeepSeek's story is a wake-up call.
A wake-up call, how so?
It shows that relying on just massive budgets and computational power isn't the only way to succeed in AI.
So it's not all about who has the deepest pockets.
Right. Innovation and efficiency can be just as important, if not more so.
It's like they've rewritten the playbook.
Completely.
Showing that you don't have to be a tech giant to make a real impact.
Exactly. And you can't ignore the geopolitical implications either.
Right. What does this mean for the balance of power, especially between China and the U.S.?
Well, DeepSeek's emergence is a definite shift in that balance.
Okay.
China is serious about becoming a global leader in AI.
And they're doing it their own way.
Exactly, on their own terms. And their open source approach is a perfect example of that.
Right. By making their technology freely available, they're building a global community.
Inviting the world to participate.
It puts pressure on U.S. companies to be more open and collaborative.
It's a brilliant strategy, really.
It challenges the traditional model of closed source development.
Which is still very common, especially among some U.S. companies.
And this resonates with a lot of people.
People who are concerned about the power of big tech.
DeepSeek is almost like they're saying, look what we can achieve when we work together.
We're not afraid to share our knowledge.
And this has economic implications too, right?
Huge implications. DeepSeek's cost-effective approach could really lower the barrier to entry for others.
So it could lead to a more diverse and competitive AI landscape.
Exactly, and that could have ripple effects across all sorts of industries.
As AI becomes more accessible
to businesses and organizations of all sizes.
It's like democratizing AI.
Making it a tool for everyone, not just the elite few.
Think about the potential impact on scientific research, healthcare, education.
The possibilities are endless.
It's exciting, but it's also a little bit daunting.
It is. We're entering uncharted territory here.
We don't know how it's all going to play out.
But one thing's for sure.
What's that?
DeepSeek has changed the game.
And the world is watching.
Every single move they make.
It's a pivotal moment, not just for the tech industry, but for the whole world.
The decisions we make now about AI are going to have huge consequences.
For generations to come.
That's right.
So to sum it all up, you've now got the rundown on DeepSeek.
A true AI disruptor.
With impressive technology, a market-shaking presence, and a story of innovation, ambition, and a shifting balance of power.
They're a force to be reckoned with, that's for sure.
Your story raises a big question, though.
What's that?
What does this mean for the future of AI?
And its impact on our world.
It's a question we all need to be thinking about. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of DeepSeek and the ever-evolving landscape of artificial intelligence.
It's been a pleasure.
Keep your eyes open, stay curious, and until next time, keep exploring the fascinating world of AI.